Unless you're actually dead, you would have heard about a little thing called Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer, where Rockstar Games have shown us the basic outline of the story and locations we can expect to see when it finally releases on May 26, 2026. So in this video, I'll be breaking down everything I've noticed. So without further ado, let's get to it. The first thing you'll notice from the trailer is just how incredible the graphics and lighting look, as if it was made specifically for a high-end PC. It does state that all of the footage was captured on a PS5, so I can't wait to see what this looks like on the PS5 Pro. The entire trailer does not show any gameplay and is solely focused on how the cutscenes will look, so we can expect a third trailer showing off the best of the gameplay at some point down the line. The trailer starts off with this guy, who I believe to be Brian Heder, as this is the same guy who appears in the GTA 6 artwork. He is talking to Jason Duval, and judging by their dialogue, Jason is Brian's employee.
What you doing up there?
I'm just fixing some leaks.
Seriously, dude, you got some time on your hands. I got some properties with paying tenants.
Well, that's why you came by?
Just go get me my checks.
Looking at Brian's artwork, he's also a shady character, as he's seen with some ammo, dodgy looking packages, and a large machete. Judging by the boat in the background, don't be surprised if he's into importing and exporting illegal narcotics. Jason then drives down the road being hollered at by a neighbour because he's quite buff and handsome. He's then slapping up a shop owner as if he's employed as Brian's enforcer, possibly from extortion or racketeering. We then get a view of some locations in the game. We can see the Vice City International Airport and Ambrosia, which will look like this. We can also see downtown, 9th Avenue, Southside and Peacock Bay. We can now see Jason walking out of a store with a crate of Patriot beer and sporting a t-shirt which says Leonida Marine Center, which will be a location in the game. Jason then makes his way through town, passing a group of police officers making arrests, with some South American style graffiti. He then arrives at the Leonida Penitentiary, where he picks up Lucia Caminos.
I'm here for Lucia Caminos.
The guard states that he recognizes him, as if he's visited Lucia quite a lot, or if he himself has been arrested before.
I've seen you here before.
You might have.
Lucia and Jason then get down and dirty, celebrating her release. It then cuts to a stick-up involving Lucia and Jason. This appears to be some kind of bank, judging by the SNB sign. I can't make out what the S stands for, but for the rest of it, it looks like National Bank. We can also see Lucia and Jason brandishing a variant of the MP5 assault rifle. We then get a nice shot of Lucia's great tits. They both then clink a bottle of Pendejo beer and toast to new beginnings. We can then see a Dinka branded boat in the next shot. We now have Jason and a person called Cal Hampton loading up some goods onto a seaplane. The sign above says Brian's Boat Works and Marina, which again links back to the operation being run by Brian Heder. This cuts to a group of women picking up litter as part of their community service. This same orange high-vis jacket is also worn by Lucia later in the trailer, when she returns home to Jason. We then see Cal Hampton, Jason and Lucia at a bar having fun. This then cuts to a more luxurious location, where Lucia can flaunt that badonkadonk and gives us all a chance to check out the brilliant hair movement and lighting effects on her glittery dress. They then head to the 919 nightclub. At a separate location, we then see trouble brewing with some gangsters, where we see Lucia making her escape out of a second floor window. We now get a few shots of what appears to be the FIB performing a raid on an apartment, which could be why we saw Lucia escaping. The main character in these scenes is this dude, who we can expect to be one of the main antagonists in the story. We then see some short fight scenes involving Jason and Lucia. before we see them back at their apartment, where it looks like they are having some work done on the property. It then cuts to Lucia firing off a grenade launcher at Noose and police cars from out the back of a moving vehicle. The explosion graphics look superb here. We then see a fight scene on a plane next to the landing gear as it flies over the city. This looks like Lucia, but appears to be much more buff. This could be an indication on how we could potentially transform the characters' bodies. This cuts to a large crate being dragged along by a car, as if it's just been stolen. Lucia and Jason are shagging again, and then we see them at the previous nightclub with a new character. Many of the cars in the next scene will be familiar, with brands like Benefactor, which is Mercedes, Bravado, which is Dodge, Pegassi, which is Lamborghini, and Emperor, which is Lexus. We then see what looks like a very busy strip club, with hoes dancing all over the place in bikinis and underwear, and we see a sign which says "Taste the Pleasure." This is then confirmed when we see a pervert making it rain, and banners which read "Sinful Sundays" and "Seduction Saturdays." We are then introduced to Phil's ammunition, and what looks like a modified Combat MG Mark II. We can also see a PlayStation style console and controller. We then get a great shot of a weaponized buzzard helicopter chasing after a swamp boat. Sea Shark jet skis will be making a return, and we get another look at some water physics, as well as a brand new style of yacht in the background. We then see Jason riding on a motorcycle, while a Dodo seaplane flies overhead. This same motorcycle is jumped from by Jason onto the back of a truck, which is towing what looks like a new Pegassi car, judging by the badge and the rear lights. Lucia then shows off her nice ass again in leopard print leggings, much to Jason's delight, before we see a speedboat being chased by a police chopper. We get our first look at Gellhorn, which will be another region in the game, as confirmed by these screenshots shown here, which looks to be part of a car chase scene, as we can see Jason jumping into the back of a vehicle driven by Lucia. Cal Hampton is then discussing how to get himself some hoes, as we then transition to the last scene of the same car we saw Jason and Lucia driving in the very first trailer. The closing credits confirm that initially this will only be available for the PS5s and Xbox Series X and S, and will be available from May 26, 2026. Personally, I thought this trailer was incredible, and exceeded all expectations of how good this game is going to look. As Jason features much more heavily in this trailer than the first, it's safe to say we'll be playing as both Lucia and Jason at points in the game, but we're yet to see if we can character swap like we can in GTA 5. It's also good that both Lucia and Jason are pleasant to look at. If we're going to potentially be spending tens if not hundreds of hours playing as them, it's important that they look good. So what did you think of GTA 6's second trailer? And how excited are you for this game when it finally releases? Let me know in the comments.